Hello and a warm welcome to Federal's special program, Capital Beat. 12 days to go for the West Bengal polls. The campaign is intensifying on the ground. BJP released its manifesto today, promising a monthly financial assistance of 3,000 rupees for women and implementation of a uniform civil code within 6 months if the party is voted to power. Now, invoking Bengal's cultural legacy, Home Minister Amit Shah, who released the manifesto, said that BJP's manifesto is inspired by Chito Jekhane Bhoy Shunya, that is the Bengali rendition of Rabindranath Tagore's celebrated poem, Where the Mind is Without Fear. Now, Mamata Banerjee, addressing an election rally at Tentulia in North 24 Parganas district, claimed that no agency in the country remained neutral under the BJP-led central government, alleging that the Saffron Party has bought them all. She even alleged that a trainload of 50,000 people were brought to Assam from Uttar Pradesh. That is in the recent Assam polls, which has just got ended yesterday. Now, elections in the 126 member Assam Assembly were conducted in a single phase, that is yesterday. And today, what Mamata Banerjee has alleged, she's made a sharper remark today saying that even a snake can be trusted, but not the BJP. She added as tensions escalated between the TMC and the BJP ahead of the two-phase assembly polls in West Bengal. Now, the TMC Supremo also alleged that BJP was attempting to deploy a similar strategy in West Bengal by bringing in the outsiders, which she said led to the transfer of several officials. Now, the big question we are asking, is BJP rattled in West Bengal? Who holds the narrative? Who seems to be having an upper edge? Where are Congress and the CPM in this entire campaign rhetoric? All this and much more over the next half an hour or so for the discussion we're going to have, because the West Bengal campaign scene is really hotting up. Joining me this evening is Shubhankar Bhattacharya, spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress. Thank you so much, Shubhankar, for joining. We have Chandan Ghosh Chaudhary, who's the Congress spokesperson. Thank you so much, Chandan, for joining. We have Shikha Mukherjee, senior journalist and political commentator. And I'm going to begin with Shikha and then come to the parties later. Shikha, what is the sense you are getting from the ground? First, your thoughts over the BJP manifesto release. Now, the first thing which Amit Shah talks about today is the Guspetias, the infiltrators. Then he talks about a uniform civil code which is going to be brought in 6 months. And at the same time, he tries to paint a Shonar Bangla picture. Now, is there a contradiction in what the BJP is saying?
Indeed, there is, because first and foremost, the manifesto is addressed to Bengal's voters, 91 lakh of whom have been deleted from the rolls. So basically, this zero tolerance is already in place for the Guspetias if the election commission is supposed to be, if the election commission is to be believed. Because if they have deleted 91 lakhs, it means that these are ineligible voters, which suggests that the BJP has already started its job before the election results have been announced. Now, if you look at how the advantage or disadvantage factor works, yes, there is anti-incumbency against a government which has been 3 terms in office, and quite legitimately so. However, the SIR and the whole process which has been started from officially from December, but actually from the time that Bihar started its SIR and Bengal was being warned every so often by the election commission that you are next. We are going to clean it up. We are going to get rid of the excesses of infiltrators and others who have been in your electoral rolls. So basically, the exercise plus the BJP's campaign have, in a sense, converged, where the Guspetia as a priority and the cleaning of the election roll has become a coordinated exercise. Because even today, the Home Minister said the purpose of the new government, the focus of the new government would be on detect, delete, deport. This is exactly the same language that he had used when defending the SIR in Parliament. So, if there is a groundswell, and the groundswell is certainly there in West Bengal, because till the election commission said that 91 lakh people had been deleted from the electoral roll. Sorry, had been deleted from the electoral roll. We were kind of looking at this as anecdotal stories about who had been deleted, who had not been deleted, whether this was justified, whether this was not justified. But when the number went up to, when the total came up to 91 lakhs, it hit everybody between the eyes like a bullet. So what on earth has been happening here? What in the name of electoral roll revision has the election commission done? That is because each one of us, and I think, there is somebody from this Congress, there's somebody from the Trinamool, and there's myself, we all know people who have been wrongfully deleted from the election, from the voters list. Now, if we all know people who have been wrongfully deleted, it just suggests that the problem is very deep. The election commission has overdone its job of detect, delete, and deport. It doesn't deport, but it does detect and delete. And that the BJP thinks that already its agenda has started, because it doesn't need to do very much more on doing zero tolerance to Ghuspettiyas, because the Ghuspettiyas are already identified.
There is a slight contradiction in what the BJP is saying. Now, I want Shubhankar now to answer to this manifesto launch of the BJP. Today, Mamata Banerjee, when she was in North 24 Parganas, said that a snake can be trusted, but not the BJP. Now, is Mamata Banerjee getting rattled, or is it BJP? Because BJP keeps saying, and yesterday also I was listening to the rallies of my Prime Minister. He was saying that BJP is winning Bengal this time. Then he even said that Bhawanipur, which is Mamata's constituency, Didi Jache, that is what Prime Minister Modi said yesterday.
Uh, Niluji, see, I actually, I get confused while answering these questions. Actually, the reason why, because these are the very same thing that we heard back in 2021. Do mai didi gai, that is only being said in Bangla now. That didi jache. Then it was all the same only. Then it comes to when it comes to the manifesto. Forget what Mamata Banerjee is saying about it. But let us discuss the manifesto in itself. All you're talking about is, again, if you see, you are trying to give a color to the entire election, to the entire electoral process. Already you have said that Mamata Banerjee is being rattled because that most of the deletion includes the names of the Muslims. Number one, it has to do nothing with Muslims or Hindus or anything. A voter is a voter first. To make it a fair and free and fair election, you have to ensure that at least every voter, every legitimate voter gets to vote, gets his right to practice the vote. But if you stop that, that means you don't have the ability to even give the nation, to deliver the nation a free and fair election even. So what are you there for? That is the very first thing. Now let's come to the manifesto thing. Funny thing is, delete, deport, detect, delete, deport. I'm actually confused. Are they talking about the cattles or the people over there? Because see, earlier it was being said that SIR has actually found out all the infiltrators and now they are running away to Bangladesh. So infiltrators are gone. You have kept a target of 1 crore on yourself. You targeted, say, areas like Nandigram, where 98% of Muslims' names were deleted in Nandigram. So if the 98% of the deleted names are Muslims, so they were infiltrators, na? So the detection is over. Deletion is already, done. So we have to wait for the deportation only. That's it. Which I think is going to take another, say, 10 years for you. Because now Modi ji, talks about 2047 development program. He doesn't talk about the next 5 years. So
No,
that is
but
what we are going to see. Very first thing.
No, Shubhankar, if you look at Amit Shah's manifesto released today also, and before that, BJP rallies have been talking about the cut money culture and a lot of corruption which has seeped into the Mamata administration. Now, this is also a narrative which BJP is trying to rake in. And do you think that this narrative can really displace Mamata Banerjee and BJP can come to power in West Bengal? Because they have pooled in all their energy. And what Mamata
You
Banerjee
know,
says, the same model which was applied in Assam of getting the voters from outside, the same thing is being deployed in West Bengal. So if you go by that, then is it not a surety that apparently BJP would come back to power, would come to power in West Bengal? Yes, Shubhankar.
Niluji, now that's a very long question, and let me phrase it out. Number one, what you are saying over here is that if the cut money phrase, the cut money rhetoric is being played by the BJP, then the Mamata has got to lose. So if the BJP is so confident about the cut money rhetoric only, if they are very confident that this narrative can actually harm Mamata Banerjee badly, then why do you need your agencies to support you in the election? Why do you need the support of Chief Election Commission? Why do you need the support of bringing people from UP, bringing people from other states? Why do you need to run buses and special trains? So these shows that you actually don't have a proper narrative or a proper complaint against Mamata Banerjee's government. That is the very first thing. And as for the cut money, why does BJP say that the cut money, this thing? There was a video played where Mamata Banerjee actually threatened her own government people that don't go for it. I don't think any government has shown that guts to come scolding their own government like that. So that was the kind of I think Mamata Banerjee's guts, which actually is getting played against her only. Then it was being said, "Arey, ye to tolabaji." But the same tolabaji narrative was also set in 2021. That was also then. If you remember, then also Pradhan Mantri ji was saying that the most corrupt party in India will be thrown away. 2 मई दीदी गई, सबसे बड़ा जो करप्ट पार्टी है उसके सबसे बड़ा करप्ट पार्टी है उसके तो सारे नेता आपने लेके बैठे थे. Subhendu Adhikari, should we talk about his scams? The problem is now, what the BJP IT sellers, what they have very well done is that they have selectively chosen all those things, they have culled it together, put it together, and now they are promoting it vehemently across all the social media platforms and everything. And most of the media, they prepare the reports with the help of those contents only. So that is the help that BJP is getting. You need a complete organized media management. You need a organized electoral management. You need an organized your agency management. So this doesn't show the kind of confidence that we were actually wishing to see from Narendra Modi coming out of that 56 inch ka chati. This is not 56 inch ka chati that is coming forward. You're fighting a lady against whom you have deployed every agency that you have under your power. You have tried every such gimmick right from the deletion. Oh, forget Mamata Banerjee wins or loses. Forget it. I'm not going to discuss till the election comes. But should we discuss the point that can we have a free and fair election at least? Can we deserve this? Does the Indian public deserve a fair and free election anywhere? And here I come, much more strongly on the India bloc as well. I think the opposition, we have, as a collective opposition, we have failed to raise the, we have failed to oppose this SIR movement. and the way it has been conducted. No, we have been, very, I think most of the parties have shied away. When it was in Bihar, I'm saying that the TMC should have been was much more stronger at that time itself, which we failed to do it, which we failed. And right now, when all the parties should have come collectively together against SIR, we are not doing that. And
Okay,
that
so
is the reason, if
one second.
this is the last democratic election that is we are going to have. Mind it
Okay.
and note it down.
Shumankar, you said that all the parties are not coming together as far as the SIR issue is concerned. Now I'm going to come to Chandan. Chandan, what is the reason that it's the same Congress which was fighting SIR tooth and nail in states like Bihar and breaking up this whole issue elsewhere? But what happened to Congress in West Bengal? And where is Congress in West Bengal? I want to know. Are we at all seeing the presence of Congress in West Bengal? Congress seems to be a very, very quiet force. People are just talking about either BJP or they're talking about TMC in West Bengal elections. Where is Congress?
Neelu, first of all, I'm not going to start with what Shivankar said at the last moment, but explain about that why not the unity of the collective unity or collective, the aggression of the opposition parties. I'll come it later. But first of all, I just want to focus on the particular, the way that our party thinks the election to be. It is quite clear that we have fielded nominations despite of our poor, the organization somewhat, but we believe that we should really penetrate to all the zone, every inch of this particular state to see our presence, moreover, our participation, moreover, creating public opinion. And against both the forces runs the central government and the state government in a way, because there are certain things you cannot deny that the Bengal government has tremendously failed. And the other way also, the central government, as you know, that BJP and the allied forces, as well as just manipulating the autonomous bodies of the country and certainly challenging the constitution and its tangibility. That is what is being seen or experienced by every single sincere person of the country, citizen of the country. Now, basically, I asked the question, what is citizen? How the citizen is the interesting part. Now, there are many questions about the Ghuspetia or the infiltrators. That's a prime focus, as Amit Shah today also mentioned. But I want to believe that these infiltrators, as much as numbers, being driven out from the country, if you check the report, kindly check the report, 2004 and 2014 had been 9 times more than 2014 to 2024. And that's been the report of the central government. So Ghuspetia issue is not going to be the prime issue unless that is being the point of tussle between these two governments. One is believed to be abating these Ghuspetias for the electoral purpose. The other one is always trying to, drive them out or to delete them, whatever it is, to make sure that there is a certain polarization on the basis of the dharam or what you call religion. But basically, both the parties, and basically, I first, since the Sankalp has been divulged, so it has been, the manifesto has been published by the BJP today. So I'm focusing on them. They are tiptoeing the same idea as Trinamool Congress has already implemented. There is no doubt of it. They have tried to counter it, but with the same value, with the same notion, with the same idea. There is no change into it. In them. So certainly, what we find that the programming and there's been promising larger amounts only, but there is no any specific version of development that we talk about. There is no any specific version of education system that we talk about. Neither the health system in Bengal that's been poorly served. So there is no question of this kind of development. But again, Ghuspetia has been the prime issue. Now my basic question is that this can never be any state which is election bound, and the new government is going to come and promise about only on the ground of this kind of divisions, then it is unfortunate. And that is this kind of unfortunate things have been shown up each day through the participations of these two mighty political parties as they believe. Coming to the second area, why Congress has decided to fill nominations of its candidates in all the constituencies in the state, that is 294. we tried always to protect the kind of, the show up between these two. And we try to always make sure that people understand what is the value and the constitutional programming and what is the kind of security that is needed, which Congress has provided since years or the decades together. So that is where, I must tell you one thing. I confess that Congress has lost out during the time, sometimes, because of coalition and all. But this time we have been completely programmed to at least protect the issues which West Bengal basically faces. And we try to find the solutions also. We try to find the solutions
Why
also.
is Congress
Yes.
why is Congress not perturbed about 91 lakh voters names being deleted in the SIR? Why is the party not raising this issue? Can you not be in solidarity?
Nilu, you are far away.
Yes.
I tell you, Nilu, you are far away. You probably may not have all collections of information. That is what I can give you here. 4th November 2025, the SIR started, executing in Bengal, and then the day we had demonstrated with 16 points to the Election Commission of Bengal, and given the 16 points, the first point was just given to be what is going to be the span of time. That span of time has to be expanded, and that's been done later on. All 16 points nearly, been challenged. I mean, been implemented by the Election Commission here. But the question is that we have been 17 times at the Election Commission. We had several programs against the SIR, and you believe Pan India SIR, even before SIR Maharashtra election, we had protested about the kind of system in which, with the data in which the Congress faced as well as the opposition faced the manipulations, and then Haryana, then Delhi, even in Bihar election, and then Rahul Gandhi is the only leader in India who had presented through the PowerPoint presentation and challenged the Election Commission with the numbers. Nothing more than that can be done. And here, West Bengal, they are demanding the collective effort. We are doing the same way. But ultimately, it cannot be that the Congress or the collective efforts by all opposition parties should be shown up, and one person or one party will steal the show. It can never be. What Mamata Banerjee said, even in Malda, where we have our MP, where we have our base, we know. People know. In Murshidabad, what she said, she spoke against Congress party here. Shubhankar is trying to establish so innocent that Trinamool is not being supported collectively by the opposition parties. I must tell you what Mamata Banerjee has done. She did not care about Congress, even went against Congress and tried to campaign against Congress and accuse Congress for all these kind of, the voracious attempts that her party has done. So we must tell you, this is an allegation, this is an accusation, and moreover, we said it right, and we still say that one single voter is valid should not be out from the electoral roll. One voter, and then if it is definitely going to challenge the basic adult franchise of the concept of constitution.
Chandan, this allegation and counter allegation, I'm sure Shubhankar wants to respond to it. I'll come to Shubhankar later. But Chika, now I want to come to the situation on the ground. You'll have to unmute yourself, Chika. What is the reality on the ground? Whatever campaign has happened so far, we are just 12 days away from the first phase of polling. Who do you think is getting the traction in terms of the issues raised, in terms of the campaign narrative, in terms of what the manifesto has promised, in terms of what the outreach has been? Who seems to be having an upper hand? Is it TMC or is it BJP?
Okay. That's an easy question, actually, because the campaign up to about a week ago was about anti-incumbency and about what will be the double-engine Sarkar. Today, all that is over. The manifesto BJP's manifesto is out. The Trinamool's manifesto was out a long time ago. The campaign has picked up momentum, and it will reshape itself as the SIR issue sort of develops further because there is this shock of the SIR, and then there is the reaction to the SIR. Now, look at what is happening. You have the BJP campaigning. BJP has brought in campaigners from outside the state. Mamata Banerjee has been hitting the ground 3 to 4 meetings, 2 to 3 meetings almost every day. And if it's a question of the momentum, I think West Bengal has been in election mode for several months now, if not for at least a year. But having said that, let us look at the kind of energy that the election campaign this year is sort of releasing into the public space. That's odd. I mean, the BJP was buzzing. It was really buzzing in 2021 and later in 2024. The Prime Minister was here. Prime Minister was in and out. The Home Minister was here. The big leaders were here. Yogi Adityanath had been deployed. All of that was happening. Hemanta Biswa Sarma was here. But this time, it seems to be a little subdued, which makes it actually easier for Mamata Banerjee to campaign, because she is not really up against the kind of array of BJP leaders that she was up against in 2021 and in 2024, for the looks of her. It makes it easier for her that neither Congress nor the CPM have deployed any of their heavyweights. It's a kind of fight between Mamata and the BJP, Mamata and Modi. Mr. Modi will be here for I think on 7 days or so.
Right.
Campaign period.
So, how much of this Modi magic can you really sense on the ground? Last time in 2021 also we saw that there were huge crowds around Modi's rallies. Then there was a campaign rhetoric which was built up. I remember Kailash Vijayvargiya was on the scene at that point of time, where his cars and all were attacked. So all those scenes are trickling in now, and it's so. But do you see any difference in what you saw in 2021 and in 2026? Is the Modi magic still intact? How are the people taking the Modi's traction in West Bengal, especially? Yes.
Okay. See, Modi is no longer a new element in Indian politics. Even less so in West Bengal. He's sort of the guy who comes every now and then and campaigns during an election. He's familiar. What he says is familiar. The language he uses is familiar. The points he raises are familiar. He keeps talking about the double engine Sarkar. If you look at their manifesto, what is the manifesto? It is a perfect example of a double engine Sarkar manifesto. The model has been created elsewhere. It's being rolled out in West. It's being altered and tweaked to fit the West Bengal conditions, because the emphasis on Ghuspetia, and that's about it. Uniform civil code, the cash transfers to women, the cash transfers to unemployed youth, the promise of loans and startup subsidies for young people who are turning themselves into entrepreneurs. This is classic. Bridges, roads, connectivity, ports, all of this is classic double engine. So, as in a sense, the Modi magic, which was A, built on charisma, and B, was built on this larger-than-life personality, has become familiar. Now, that's the most dangerous thing that can happen. Mr. Modi,
yes.
Let me finish one thing. In 2021, Mr. Modi was making waves with the kind of speeches he delivered, because that was the time when he delivered his Didi O Didi speech, and then there were his state level leaders who were jeering and sneering at Mamata, catcalling her about having broken her leg. This time, it's all very subdued. They're being very, very correct. They're not attacking Mamata personally, but this Modi is a large person, is a large figure. Mamata is a matching leader in the state at the state level, and if one side doesn't quite do what they have done in the past, then it makes it a little more subdued election.
Right. All right. Now I'll come for the concluding comments to Chandan and Shubhankar. Chandan, I'll come to you first. So, which way is this election heading? Are you confident that Congress is really going to win some respectable number of seats this time? Will Congress be seen as some sort of a harbinger of some change, which we haven't seen in years? Do you see any promising as prospects for Congress this time?
Definitely, Nilu, because this time, as I told you, even in the first phase, that we have fielded 294 with a prospect definitely to penetrate the zone we did not, really appear during last few elections. But this time we are after 20 years. Another thing I tell you here, that we had been completely afraid of the extreme polarization in 2021 election. Everybody knows about it. But this time it can never happen, and I can give you an example. Even last assembly election 2016, we had been the largest opposition party combining with the left, and we had done 77 seats together. We had our opposition leader, so it is nothing lost or that so far. I mean, in the history that we had appeared only in the certain show up of the West Bengal politics. So only last election that we had debated, and certainly we are coming back. And I can't tell you any number because I don't believe in the prediction or any kind of political astrology. But the certain ground that is prepared, I can tell you, sensibly we can expect good number of seats which can really be a factor, at least inside the assembly, where the opposition parties never played, despite of the numbers, never played the kind of role they're supposed to play during these 5 years, and will be sincerely doing this against whosoever the government is. I can tell you.
All right. Okay, Shubhankar. So is this 2026 elections going to bid goodbye to Mamata Banerjee's politics in West Bengal, or we are going to see Mamata Banerjee coming back to power with full force for the third time?
Niluji, I think I've been sitting on your debate since very long now. And I never come in support of I'm no one to talk about the results. I'm not sitting over here to actually do any propaganda gimmick over here. But I'll again enforce that what exactly this election should mean, what the people of India should expect from this election. Number one, are you going to have a free and fair election which is completely impartial? But it is not possible, because one thing you need to just appreciate is that Mamata Banerjee is fighting against all odds. Number one, see, I think the Congress and the left are fortunate enough, they know that whom they are fighting against. It's the Trinamool, it's the BJP. They know the names of the party, they know the names of the contestants over there. But the Mamata Banerjee has to fight the party, the system, the election officials, and then again, those friends whom we call friends, but they are now fighting for their own survival over there in Bengal. So she is fighting against all odds. Number one. Number two, see, we still could have been very happy about to see any kind of change in the number or anything if it was given to you, it was delivered in an honest manner. But this election is anything but honest. You have never seen an election office ever saying get lost to any of the candidates. You never seen that. You never see the election.
Are you Shubhankar, are you confident that because of the 91 lakh voters' names being deleted, there is a general resentment against BJP and the Election Commission because of that? And so, does this come as a blessing for Mamata Banerjee? Shubhankar, very briefly, and then I'll end the program.
See, it is very much, Niluji, it is very much targeted to hit Mamata Banerjee directly, number one. Number two, if you say that whether it will trigger that sympathy vote over there or not, I don't know. And I'm not over here to assume anything. Number three is if BJP is so confident playing after all these gimmicks and all, then why do they need all the conspiracies? You have heard Humayun Kabir talking about 1,000 crores and all, just because you have plenty of money, you have got your corporate partners sitting over there to fuel your election. So that means you are going to influence the election in every possible way, every possible power that you have. You have your investment in Bengal is zero. You read the manifesto. He is not talking about good education. He's not talking about. He's talking about 1 crore employment. Wherever Modi ji goes, he's giving 1 crore employment. That way, the number of election multiplied by 1,000, 1 crore, you might have. I think the problem of unemployment should have been completely been off from India, but that is not the situation. And I think we as a public, we as a normal citizen of India, the least thing that we expect is to have my vote, my voting right being practiced honestly and fairly, should not be under any pressure, should not be influenced. Third, if I have a voting right, don't take it away from me. That is what the entire, I think all the parties should have been fighting with. That is where the unity should have come forward with. That didn't happen. See, the Election Commission never targeted any comment on Congress directly. Yeah, what is this? How dare it comes from the Election Commission? Election Commission ने दो टूक TMC से कह दिया. And then you call it fair and neutral. How can it go neutral ever? How is it possible?
No, your concerns are legitimate, but this very situation makes the West Bengal election very, very tricky. Now, with 91 lakh voters' names deleted, is the election...
One more thing, Niluji, one more fact. Let me share one more fact.
Very quickly, Shubhankar.
Let me quickly share one more fact. Hello? Am I audible?
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
And after all this, on 23rd of March, there was a seminar in BJP office over here in Lucknow, capital of Uttar Pradesh, where Jagannath Sarkar, MP of BJP, he had come over here. He was the convener of that particular seminar, and he openly has offered free tickets. And if you have any relative staying over there or an address, they will help us in creating an Aadhaar card and help us in giving us all the help so that we can go over them and vote. So that was the offer, came directly from the BJP office to the people, to a gathering which they deployed the entire funds and everything over here, and were offered free of cost travel, free of cost stay, as well as the documentation support from the BJP office. So if this is the kind of election that we are going to see next, so kindly understand that democracy is completely off, democracy is completely ended. Because Supreme Court, it's very unfortunate, even we are not even, now we don't even see the justice coming from that end as well. So I don't know where the democracy has gone and where the democracy is actually going.
All right. So we have 12 days for the first phase of polling in Bengal, that is on 23rd. Now the campaign, I'm sure, is going to intensify further. We'll hear more of allegations and counter allegations coming from both sides. So we'll have to wait and watch this West Bengal election very, very closely. And also not to forget, 23rd of April is also Tamil Nadu, where we will be talking about in the coming days. We'll have to end it here. Thank you so much, Shubhankar Bhattacharya, Shikha Mukherjee. Thank you so much for joining.